How many years in a row have I set big goals that I never followed through on, more than I cared to admit, until I realized small changes make the biggest difference. As a mom of two, life used to feel overwhelming until I started decluttering 2 years ago. 50% of our things completely gone. And that was when I realized, oh, all this time I was making life harder for myself by keeping all that clutter. So here are 10 minimalist habits I wanted to add to my life. And maybe you will benefit from a few of these too. The 9-10 rule. I used to be the kind of person that was a lot more all or nothing. I would either declutter my entire garage or not even start. Until I read the book Atomic Habits, and it completely changed my perspective on this. I realized that actually making small changes makes a huge difference down the line. And it's not about applying everything perfectly, it's just about doing it a majority of the time until it becomes a habit. So what I try to do now is to apply these habits 90% of the time. So I've started to embrace the fact that it's okay to miss that 10% of the time. It doesn't mean I'm falling off the bandwagon. It doesn't mean we're failing. It just means we're human. It's okay if 10% of the time I don't feel like cleaning the kitchen at night. Maybe I'm too tired. Maybe I don't feel like tidying the kids' toys. It's completely normal to have times when we can't do those things or we don't feel like it because we're tired. And I do still like to keep a tidy home and keep on top of things, and I try to do that 90% of the time. But it's just a good reminder for myself that it's not all or nothing. We just try our best every day. Read the book before I buy the next. This is something I'm really trying very hard to do because I am the kind of person who used to buy a load of books all at once and then have them sit on my shelves because it would take me ages to go through them. Nowadays, I try my best to get through the book or the 2 or 3 books that I've got going on at the moment before I go out and buy any new ones. This way, if I'm interested in the next book, it kind of motivates me to finish this book so I can get to that next one. And it's one thing that I think will encourage me to read more and also keep that clutter at bay, because I don't want to just buy a load of books, keep them on shelves and never get to reading them. That would be a very sad life for that book. Pre-loved before new. This is something I started incorporating in the past couple of years. When I started decluttering and selling all of my stuff on Vinted, for example, or eBay, I realized, wait a minute, there's a whole market of people selling the stuff they don't need, stuff that sometimes is brand new, unwanted gifts. This is one habit that I do want to take with me going forward. So whenever I have a wish list of things I want to buy, the first question that I ask myself is, can I buy this pre-loved? Can I buy this from somebody else? Can I look on Vinted first? Can I look on eBay? Can I find a way to source it before buying it new from, for example, Amazon? And it's not possible 100% of the time, obviously, but I actually found a lot of items in great condition, a lot of baby items, a lot of clothes for myself, tech items. We can find them pre-loved from people who just simply don't have a use for them anymore, but they're perfectly usable. And we're not just saving money for ourselves, which is a big thing in itself, but we're also helping the environment, aren't we? And it's these small changes that actually help in the long run. Pay attention to what it's made of. I wanted to try to be more conscious with the items that I buy. I'll be completely honest here. I used to just buy items regardless of what they're made of. I never paid attention to, is it 100% cotton? Is it completely synthetic? Is it plastic Tupperware that's not great for you? I never used to pay attention to these things. I would just go with the flow, just buy whatever is convenient. And it's when you reach a point where these decisions start to affect your life or your health that it makes you realize, wait a minute, I should probably pay attention to what's in all of these products that I'm using, both health-wise and for the environment as well. So I'm not saying I'm going to be 100% perfect on this, but I'm trying, when I do shop for something, to look at what it's made of and see if I can find maybe a better solution or a better option for it before I buy that item. Rethink before upgrading. I realized sometimes I get bored, especially when it comes to something really mundane. Like, for example, a few months ago, it's so silly, but I was looking at my laundry basket and I thought, maybe we should get a bigger one. Maybe we should get one that has separated whites and colors or things like that. And then I put it on my wish list, and a few weeks down the line, I realized, do I actually have a need for upgrading that laundry basket, or am I just bored? And I decided, at least for now, not to upgrade that laundry basket because in honesty, it works perfectly fine. I don't truly have the need for a new one. And I do think sometimes we get caught in this trap of constantly upgrading our things, especially because we see a lot of ads on social media. And so it's very easy to be tempted to get the next best thing, when in reality we usually have something that works perfectly fine, that doesn't need upgrading, and that we could probably save our money on. Do a monthly or seasonal edit. And this can be when it comes to clothes, home decor, kitchen items, whatever it might be. I will try to go through, maybe when I pull out winter clothes, I will have a look through them and declutter anything I don't need. When we pull Christmas decor, we can look through those, see if there's anything we're not using this year. Maybe it's a good sign we can let it go to somebody else. This way, we're kind of breaking an overwhelming decluttering task into smaller bits that feel more manageable, and it's just a little bit at a time. So it's not going to take up a lot of your time, and it's also not going to be just a mountain of things to go through. I want to declutter my digital space. I feel like I've gotten my home into a pretty good clutter-free, organized state, but one area where I'm still kind of lacking is decluttering my digital space. I have started making progress with it, but just going through things for my business. Obviously, I take a lot of content, videos and pictures for my YouTube, for my blog, for my Instagram. I have so much of that going on both my MacBook and my phone, and so I'm trying my best to go through these things here and there, try to organize things in folder, delete all of those duplicate pictures. Like sometimes we take 20 pictures of the same thing. We can just pick one or two of our favorites and let go of the rest. I want to try more no-buy months. I did my first no-buy month a few months ago, and it was actually quite an eye-opening experience. I will link that video down below, but it's a good way to kind of put a pause on all the shopping that sometimes we do mindlessly, to reassess if we actually need that item. It's a good way to save some money, and it did bring a few lessons for me on how influenced we can be to buy things that we don't have an actual need for. So I do want to incorporate more no-buy months in the future. Have you ever done a no-buy month? Let me know in the comments. I want to unsubscribe. What I mean by this is not just YouTube channels. I mean go and unsubscribe from email newsletters, from products or brands that I don't really have a need to see in my inbox every single week. I will only keep the ones that really bring value to me and that I really enjoy getting in my emails. But do I need to see every single time they have a sale on their product? Probably not. I want to unfollow some Instagram accounts that I have found to be constantly kind of influencing me to want to buy items and to create that desire to buy things. And I feel like sometimes we need to kind of take a step back and distance ourselves from that. So that's one thing I'm trying to be more intentional about. I also want to be less busy. I think we do often wear busy as a badge of honor. As a mom of two who's also trying to run a business here, I do tend to do that myself quite a lot, and I want to be less overbooked. I want to make sure I don't try to stuff all of my kids' time with tons of activities and after school clubs. I'm not saying cut them down completely, but I do want to just be more mindful of the things that they do, and I don't want to feel the need to completely stuff their schedules to the point where they don't have any downtime. And in order to be less busy, I do think I need to learn to delegate a bit more. I need to learn to ask for help. I think that's something I'm not great at, but that's something I'm working on. So incorporating these small habits can actually make such a big difference in the long run. Let me know what habits you are incorporating in your life, and I will see you in the next one.